Okay, first things first, we are still in baby step 2, which means we still owe that much in debt. During baby step 2, if you're doing it right, you learn the difference between wants and needs. And when your computer is working perfectly fine, upgrading it to the newest and best is not a necessity. So, my computer is still running XP, and my version of Office is 2003. So my screen will probably look a lot different than most of you guys who I'm sure have moved on from 2003. You know, don't let that confuse you, just listen to the command. It shouldn't be too much different other than where you find the commands, I hope. Alrighty, so the first thing you're going to do obviously is open a brand new Excel file. And this is what it looks like when it's brand new and blank. We're going to try to change it and make it look like this one. First, we're going to get this first column wide enough so that we can type in our debt names. Put your cursor up here next to the A, click on it, left click on it, and then just drag it out. Next, we want to get this second column here that's going to have all the amounts of debt and the date and stuff. It's the same thing that we did with the first column. Just click up here on the side and then stretch it out however big you think you need it. The next 3 columns are the finance charge minimum, payment, and then the rate, which should all fit in the standard size of the column. Go to the first column, and then I would just go down a few rows and, you know, pick any one. We'll go with 8 and type in account. You're gonna hit the tab button, and then that'll bring you to the next. I don't know how basic I should keep this. Do you guys already know all this? I don't know if I'm keeping it like way too basic. Oh, but maybe somebody needs that who's never worked with Excel before. Okay, and then you type in balance, and you hit your tab button again, and you're gonna type in finance charge. Then minimum. Don't worry that it looks weird like that. We'll fix it in a minute. Minimum, and then rate. And you can click enter after that. So that's what it should look like. And yeah, this is gonna look weird. I don't know if the newer versions fix that automatically or not. So I'll show you how to fix it. In this version, it's pretty much the same way as we resized the other ones up here. Easy peasy. I like them to be centered. Right now they're justified to the left, but I'm weird. I like everything centered. So I would highlight all of them and then go up to wherever your justify buttons are and click center. So now they're all pretty and in the middle. While they're still highlighted, go up to your little, I don't know where it'll be for anybody who's got newer versions, but it's this little button here that has the borders for each cell, and since they're all highlighted, this one's already got the little line on the bottom. See, there's all different kinds of borders you can put on each cell, but mine's already just on the bottom, so I'll click that. And then when I click away from the stuff, you can see that now I've got that underline right there. Get all of your statements from the last month. Unless all of your statements have already closed for this month, just go with last month and start filling in the rows. The account name, say you have a car, click tab, and then over here, when it comes to the balance, make sure you start it off with a minus sign. Because if it's a debt, it is something you owe, so you have negative, let's say, $10,000. I don't know. Then you put in your finance charge. Well, the same thing, you want to start that with a negative, because that number is making that number grow. So we have 100. Your minimum payment, this one is positive. It's positive money that you give to that account, so just write it as normal, say 250. And then your annual interest rate, so I don't know, we'll go with 6%. And then just do that for all of your debts. Alrighty, so when you're done, it should look something like this. Or if you were like us, it'll be filled down all the way down to like here. Hopefully you're just little like this. Now you want to leave like 2 rows from the last of your debts and click on that cell. And here's where we're going to put our first formula. You're going to type equals sum, and then you're going to put open parentheses. See, it's already telling you, oh, you want me to add these cells. And you go up to your first cell and click, and then slide it all the way to the bottom of whatever your debt is. And then it'll be highlighted right there. So then you close the parentheses and hit enter. And there you go. So it already did the math for you. All these numbers equal that much. That's this number right there. Again, skip a couple of rows. And then here, if you want to, you can go back and get the previous month's statements and then add up all of those totals and type that number in there. Or you can do what I think I might have done was just copied this number, since it was the first snowball, this kind of snowball that I was making. You know, that's how much this was like our starting point. If you've already paid off some debt and you know how much like your initial balance was, you can go ahead and put that there. Again, always typing minus. Okay, minus, say we owed 100. I don't know. But if this is your first time that you're doing this, you're just starting out, then again, put the exact same number, 51400, because this is your starting. If this is the very first snowball that you're doing, this number, and this number should all be the same. If you've already paid off debt and you know what last month's total that you owed was, and you know what your initial debt that you owed was, then put those two there respectively. So we got to write down what the heck those numbers are, right? So go over here and we'll put last month, and then on the bottom one we'll put, now you could put starting point, which is what I would do if you were starting, or ours says January 2011, because that's when we were finally able to get some traction and restart our snowball after we moved here, got our pay cut in half. I was sick and we were actually going back into debt because of the doctor visits. I think this is all in a video I did called Our Debt Story or something like that, if you want to know. But that's why ours has the date of January 2011, but that is not actually when we started paying off, or that's definitely not the total that we owed at one point. Now we'll do these two here. If you want to use the same words that we did, we put we have climbed, and then click enter, and that's where our number's going to go. And then so go down one more out of the hole, and then you go over here for this month. That will give you how much you climbed out. We just go up here and stretch them over a little bit. This one barely fits. We could probably leave it, but I'll go ahead and stretch it a little bit. Alright, now we're going to put in the formula here. So basically what you're doing here is you want to know the difference of how much you owe at the end of the month, which is this number, and how much you owed to begin with, which is this number. Right now it should equal to 0 because this is a starter snowball. Now we want this number to be positive. If we just leave the numbers as is, because all of these are negatives, that total is going to come out negative. So in the formula, we'll have to change those numbers to positives. And you do that by adding a negative. Okay, so we push equals, and then you put the open parentheses, and then the minus, and then you go up to, or over, rather, to your starting point, and you click on that box. So you'll have here, then you close that parentheses. That'll make your debt positive, and we're going to add, so put a plus sign, your monthly total. So click on that, and that'll give you this. Then when you click enter, what it's doing is subtracting the monthly total from the positive of your starting total, and you will get the total number that you have paid off, which, since this is a starting snowball, is 0. Pretty much the same thing over here to find out the monthly total. We're going to put equals, and then open parentheses and a minus, and then move over to your last month and click on that box, close the parentheses, and then plus to add this month's total, and then enter. Again, starting snowball would be 0. We have paid off 0 so far. To put the date in, so pick a cell up here somewhere and then type in your date. So we'll go with January 2015. Alright, I think everything looks prettier when it's centered, so we'll go back and click that, and then select this whole rigmarole right here, and click the center again, and oh, look how much prettier that looks. Now we just have to put them smallest to largest, and we will have a functioning snowball. Alright, so select all of your balances, and then here on my version, it's one of these two buttons here. It says A to Z with that down arrow, or Z to A with a down arrow, and it'll say sort descending or sort ascending. Dave would probably click this one, sort descending, smallest to largest. When you click on it, you're going to get this little box or something similar that will say there's data next to your selection. Do you want them to expand the selection or just continue with the current selection? What that's doing is asking if you want them to just change these numbers or if you want them to change all this stuff too, which we do, because otherwise the balances would not match the names, right? So we will leave it on yes, expand the selection, and then click sort, and then it has sorted them, which actually they already were, from smallest to largest. I didn't do that on purpose. I should have picked weirdo numbers. Anyway, so that is how Dave does it, smallest to largest. I like to put the smallest number on the bottom and then go ascending to the biggest number at the top, because for me it feels like I'm climbing out of this hole. So that since the smallest one gets paid off first, it's like more like steps that we're climbing, right? Where you cross off the bottom and the next one on the next one up. So I prefer to click this one, sort ascending, again, yes, expand the selection and sort, and then we will have the smallest one on the bottom and the biggest one on the top. See, it also moved the names and the finance charges and everything else with it. So, alright, there you go. You have the skeleton, a functioning snowball. Say it's the end of the month, you save this as January's snowball, and then you want to start keeping track for February, so you go up here and you would change the date. Make sure you come down here to where it says last month and then copy this number. Write it in. So you write in minus 51400. And now you can save this file as February's snowball. So whenever you get a new statement, you can just change this number. Say you paid off $1,000 on your car, and now it says you owe $9,000. When you click enter, it will do the math. This is your new total that you owe. It's subtracted from last month that you typed in. You've climbed out 1,000. You've climbed out 1,000 this month. So this looks the same again because it's just still the beginning. Let's say it's already March. So you're gonna change the date here, 15, and then copy this number, but by typing it in. Don't copy it because it'll copy the whole formula. So you don't want to do that. You type it in. Minus 50,400. Okay. Then you can save this as the March snowball. And say you pay off another 1,000 on your car. Look at you paying that car off. Click enter, and now here's where you'll see the difference. See, you've climbed 2,000 total. This month you've climbed out 1,000. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just write any questions that you have in the comments and I will answer them right there. Or if I need to do a video to answer the question, then I will do that. I imagine that some of you who are like me and super visual want to make it pretty like mine. So I will make another video doing that. But right now I do have to go at least change some laundry and stuff. So I'm going to put this video up first and then I'll put one that says how to make it pretty. Because this is, I think, the most important part. So I want to get that up for you guys. Again, if you have any questions, leave me a comment and I will answer as best I can.